And in the future, we envision you can also use a smartphone for your medical selfie.
And we provide safe care for all.
Hello everyone, this is Carson. I am the CEO of iSensor. I used to take daily pictures with my DSLR, but now I'm using my smartphone. And in the future, we envision you can also use a smartphone for your medical selfie. iSensor is a mobile health company that turns smartphone into a clinical-grade device that allows you to track your health. We are now 1.5 years into the pandemic. It changed how we live, our work, and how healthcare is performed. In the past year, we have seen a significant reduction of emergency room visits by more than 40%, and also the utilization of telehealth surged from 2% to 35%. When people talk to the doctors ask about symptoms. However, one critical part is missing in this new normal. In the past, they can go to hospital, ask for blood test, urine test. This biomarker information allows the doctors to make the right decision, but this is simply lacking in the current telemedicine system. In view of this, iSensor has developed a technology that can turn smartphone into a device to get this clinical information. And through smartphone's connectivity, this data can be sent to cloud simultaneously. And by looking at these test results, doctors, nurses can provide their advice and timely intervene. PixelTech, the technology platform we have built. Consider the smartphone we have now is actually much more powerful than some of the DSLR years ago. Using its camera as an accurate optical reader, along with the screen as a light source, combined with optical strip, we can check many of the biomarkers using the device we already have at hand. Because we are leveraging existing optical strip technology, we can quickly expand our product portfolio and turn it into a cost-effective digital test solutions. Augmented with the transmission data connectivity or smartphone, this could be an enabler for data-driven healthcare. In the past few years, we have filed more than 100 patent applications, and we got 74 international patents so far. And building on this platform, we were able to provide a decentralized testing solution. And when we first founded iSensor, one of the most asked questions is whether it is accurate enough, whether it is suitable to convert consumer-grade smartphone into a medical device. We answered this question with years of R&D efforts. In 2017, we received FDA approval for our glucose testing, which is the world's very first FDA-approved smartphone camera-based blood testing. And since then, we have been using this platform technology to develop tests needed for different disease areas. Today, we have two major platforms, one to serve for people to use their smartphone to check their health at home, and the other allows professionals like doctors, nurses to use this device to check the testing result with their patients. Over these years, we also developed a remote development platform, PixelTech X Lab, which allows us to work with vendors of strips to develop new tests. With our analyzer, they can do the experiments at their own lab and synchronize the images to our cloud. By analyzing these images, our computer vision team can quickly develop the algorithm fitted for this strip and complete the product development in a timely, efficient manner. With this platform, we were able to develop many biomarkers in a relatively short time. Today, we have three major areas of interest. The first one is infectious disease, the second, chronic disease management, and the third, women's health management. For infectious disease, previously we have worked with Taiwan's government to fight against dengue. and also we have experience developed tests for Zika. But in the past 1 year, we have been focusing on the development of antigen tests for COVID-19 and recently got CE mark. And in the middle is the chronic disease management solution. We focus on the prevention and monitoring of cardiovascular disease and diabetes. So far, the system allows us to check hemoglobin A1C, cholesterol, and other biomarkers for chronic diseases. On the right one is women health management. It has couples who want to get a baby who can use this to check the hormone level and maximize their opportunity. In the following, I'm going to go deeper into each session. PixelTest POCT is our solution for chronic disease. In the past, if you want to check our health, you usually go to hospital to do a one-day checkup, and 2 weeks later, you come back to ask your doctor, what's my health situation? But now we are seeing a dramatic change in the possibility of how health checkup is performed. iSensor received CE and FDA for its POCT PixelTest system for diabetes and cardiovascular diseases. Previously, we have worked with Merck to pilot our testing solution in Kenya, and now it's widely adopted in more than 60 clinics. So for doctors to visit a patient and to perform the test immediately. In addition, we also deployed this system in more than 500 pharmacy stores in Italy. In Europe, Italy, Germany, and Spain are 3 special countries. People can go to pharmacy stores and to ask to perform health checkup. And Italy is where we first start. By working closely with local distributor, which has a capability to do IT integration, we provide a total solution for them. So those clients of client stores, they can just walk in store and say, I want to have an express health checkup. 3 minutes later, they get a result in an electronic form, saying what's the cholesterol level, triglyceride, and also analyze its cardiovascular and risk report. And this is all be done at the pharmacy store instead of having to go to hospital. IFLINE is our version test and pregnancy kit that help people who want to get pregnant find the best timing and optimize their chance. IFLINE already received CE mark and FDA approval. Within our proprietary AI algorithm, once people use this product, along the time, they get smarter and get more familiar with the user's behavior. And this is right now available on Amazon, and also you can see this in CVS. It's one of US largest pharmacy chain. In addition, we also work closely with experts. In Vietnam, in Taiwan, we work with expert doctors, so they can provide consultation to their customer. They check their hormone level and suggest what to do and what nutrition they can take to maximize their chance of getting pregnant. And this has been a highly successful partnership in Vietnam, and we are seeing more of this kind of consultation-based trend happen in this data-connected era. And since COVID-19 started 2 years ago, we have been focusing on finding the good solution to fight against the pandemic. And by solution, I mean not just the test itself, but an overall digital management system for us to fight against the pandemic. Earlier this year, we have developed antigen test with our existing POCT technology, which can sensitively detect antigen of SARS-CoV-2 virus. And with an analyzer, we can minimize human error and optimize sensitivity. And the second, the result was analyzed. It can be synchronized to the cloud our partner choose. It encrypts the test result, operator ID, and also the testee ID, and the timing, which allow it to further be used as a health pass for organizations and companies to manage the entry of buildings and for event reopening. We believe post-pandemic era, we would need a new citizen system to help us reopen with peace of mind. In the following, I'm going to show you a brief video that illustrates how the Pixel Test smart antigen COVID testing and management system work in the following video.
The PixoTest POCT COVID-19 antigen test detects early infection of SARS-CoV-2 via the use of the PixoTest COVID-19 antigen test strip. With the handheld PixoTest POCT analyzer, screening can easily take place anywhere. PixoTest is highly sensitive, which makes it paramount for efficient COVID-19 screening. The test takes 5 to 15 minutes to complete, and it makes no compromises on accuracy. On top of that, the PixoTest POCT analyzer transmits data to iSensor's PixoHealth Hub, allowing organizations the option to deploy seamless workflow integration. Utilizing the benefits of PixoTest and pairing with policies of pandemic management, the outbreak can be better managed by increasing accessibility and test frequency. PixoTest demonstrates ultra-portability, providing healthcare organizations with flexibility and capability to ramp up screening at drive-through testing sites. Rapid turnaround time empowers healthcare professionals to make timely medical decisions and potentially prevent further transmissions. Utilizing PixoTest at airlines and international airports helps to reinforce safety measures and speed up entry screening procedures. With the PixoTest solution in place, health authorities can multiply testing capacity and minimize the risk of reopening borders. Potentially, travelers can be exempted from 14-day quarantine. In the workplace, PixoTest enables employers to rule out the risk of becoming a COVID-19 outbreak cluster. Corporations and manufacturers can scale up and automate the management of employees' health conditions as well as test results without additional investments of costly testing systems. What sets iSensor apart from conventional tests is the PixoHealth platform, taking the applicability of digital health products to a new level. Through API communication, the PixoHealth platform automates the management of health information for multiple destinations simultaneously. iSensor, the pioneer of mobile health.
With this digital COVID solution, we have seen a lot of awareness. We have generated a lot of awareness globally. So we are seeing reports from AFP, BBC Future, Bloomberg, Mobile Health, and other media. Because what we believe is COVID has brought a significant change, and we need a more sustaining system to fight against it. It's not just a fact how infectious disease impact our life, but also impact how healthcare is delivered going forward. We are seeing current disease patients impact during the pandemic because they cannot go to hospital and get what they used to have, the care they needed. And it's going to change. We have seen this healthcare being more decentralized. People now are going to clinics, pharmacy stores, or even at home. And what they need is the testing solution to allow them to get health information timely and allow them to talk to healthcare providers. And this is a new normalcy we are seeing. In the post-pandemic era, we are seeing a significant change in healthcare and how it's delivered. It's not only impact in infectious disease, but also many people with chronic disease. We are foreseeing in the future, people can stay at home to get a test or go to a nearby pharmacy or clinics to get the test and get advice instantly. In the future, mobile can be the center of personal health, and the iSensor will be the enabler for those tests to be more accessible. iSensor, pioneer of mobile health, we turn your smartphone into the center of your personal health.
Hi, I'm Joseph from Flat Medical. We are a company providing the best quality, affordable, safer, and innovative devices to anesthesiologists, and we provide safe care for all. Hi, I'm Joseph. I'm happy to share my experience in Flat Medical, which is a startup company since 2016. Although Epiphase, our product name, is mentioned in the title, this sharing would be more like a self-examine of our whole company to examine what we have done and what allow us have the chance to find a balance between the risk and opportunity. So before we entering the main topic, I would like to introduce our company first. Our background cover mechanical engineering, biomedical engineering, and medicine. And Flat Medical is a team came out from a biodesign program in a college. And similar to other startup companies, the story was started from the unmet need. And then we joined an entrepreneur competition with the solution. And fortunately, we won the champion. So we started the company, Flat Medical. We launched our first product in 2019. And the main field of Flat Medical is anesthesiology. And we sell product to the United States, part of European, and part of Middle East. So I always believe Flat Medical is just like an organism that is transforming and growing every day. However, even in the process of transforming, I think there should be something that should be kept. We call it the discipline. We have 4 disciplines in Flat Medical. We have to recognize the strengths and weakness, and we can only focus on unmet needs. And we have to verify the feasibility of new ideas as early as possible. And we always have to stay flexible. So let me start from recognize the strengths and weakness. I believe everyone knows the difference between the startup and large enterprise because it is huge difference on the resources and sales channel. So we must have a list of must do and must not. In Flat Medical, we built a research and design team with engineer, physician, and regulatory specialist. So when we are going to evaluate a new unmet need, then we can have different kind of direction. And we always enhance the ability on patent investigation and freedom to operate analysis. And we have built a business development team on the very early stage of the company because we need to start the networking with key opinion leader as early as possible. But we may not perform pre-market clinical trial because it doesn't mean we think clinical trial is not important. We prefer to perform clinical trial post-market because post-market clinical trial is much more efficient and money saving, and it can be part of the post-market the marketing activity. And we will not try to build a factory, and we will not try to build a complete sales team. So after we have the list, then we have already determined the company's characteristic. That means Flat Medical is a research, design, and marketing company and will cooperate with contract manufacturer. And we have our vision, our mission. After we determined the characteristic, the next step is we have to evaluate the unmet needs. So the first problem is that what is the true needs? Because after we start conversation with physicians, we find 10 physicians will provide 12 complaints and 20 requirements. So what is the real needs? So we can only use the quantitative and the statistical data or calculation to evaluate the requirements. And we often use the patent search to find out what other company will do to solve the same or similar problem. And we focus on the 510K product. It means we only focus on the innovation on product rather than the innovation on principle. I can provide an example here. Currently, doctors use the pressure change to detect the position of the needle tip. So what we provide is a new technology to help them to realize the unclear pressure change. But we will not provide them an absolutely principle, for example, electricity, because it requires a lot of effort on the regulatory, which is not which is not efficient for a small company. So let me use our first product as an example. Our first unmet need is the epidural injection, which is very common and covers painless labor, chronic pain, and surgical anesthesia. So in the US, the market is larger than 12 million shots per year, and the global market value of disposable epidural kits is higher than 1.4 billion. However, even in such a big market, there are still big problems has never been solved. That is, the physician can only rely on their manual sense to locate the needle. However, epidural space is a very thin space and just in front of the spinal cord. So if the doctor cannot realize the arrives at epidural space and keep advancing the needle, then the needle will puncture the dura and get into the spinal cord. It will lead to a serious headache, extreme pain, and maybe a permanent paralysis. And the failure rate of epidural injection is about 2 to 5%. It leads to higher than 280 million of additional costs just in the United States. So that is the reason why we are trying to develop EpiPhase syringe. And that is our first product. EpiPhase syringe is a visualized syringe that can provide a clear objective signal when the needle tip arrives at the epidural space. So of course, the first advantage is that it is safer because it can provide visualized and objective warning signal when the needle tip arrives at epidural space. So it can reduce the risk of overpuncture. And the second is intuitive because it fits to current practice habit and it is compatible to current devices complying to the existing standards. However, this advantage is what we said, but how can we know it is true and it will be popular in the market? So I think the only way is to test the test the product in a real market. So one of our disciplines is that we have to verify the feasibility of new idea as early as possible. So we will attend to medical conference in a very early stage of the product design. And we will visit hospitals and even held workshops in hospital just to gather the right feedback. So we have a strong scientific advisory board and they help us to evaluate the real unmet need and to tune our design. So I still use our first product as an example. After we confirm the unmet need, then we start to make several generations of prototypes. And we brought the third version of our prototype to the conference of American Society of Anesthesiologists. In the conference, the product is popular. However, we found a curious thing that people was very curious about the accessory, which is a special syringe in a syringe design. They found the movement of the piston is very clear, so they can use it as an indication for epidural injection. So as you know, after 2 years, we separate the product into 2 product lines, and our first product is the original accessory. The last thing is that we have to stay flexible. So if we are talking about stay flexible, then we should talk about the patent, because patent is the key to allowing early stage exposure. But for a startup, how to balance between the patent cost and the coverage? So in Flight Medical, we always file the US provisional patent first, because it is not only cost efficient, but can provide you a flexible, because we have 12 months to decide whether to file a formal one or not. And then we will use the PCT process. The PCT will provide us another 12 to 31 months to decide what country to get into the national stage. So that is the flexible. About the flexible, another thing is that we should always trying to find opportunity when facing challenge. For example, because of COVID-19, people are now sometimes wears medical protective clothing for epidural anesthesia. So the use of epidural injection has been reduced because it is really inconvenient to wear the clothing. But we found another thing is that when they are wearing a protective clothing, their hand feeling reduced. So they cannot use their original practice, the hand feeling. So the advantage of EpiPhase is now even more important. So we use this and successfully enter the Middle East market. So in the end of the lecture, I have shared 4 disciplines of flight medical. And because we are in a changing world, I think everything is changing. So we often heard people say, I have to change something to adapt to the world. But we always think that we still have to think about what shouldn't be changed. What is your discipline and what is my core value? So for us, I think we will keep follow the 4 disciplines when we are trying to develop a new product or even a new company. And in the future, we will still stay firm in Taiwan and think globally to provide safe care for all. Thank you.
As an industry is to respond as effectively and as efficiently to the patient needs.
We are really fostering innovation, collaboration, and excellence across the value chain.
And we strongly believe that the experience with the spread of coronavirus is definitely an opportunity for more advanced technologies and betterment in the entire world's bio industry.
We can see that as a big opportunity for us to find good business partners.
We are working very closely with Taiwan
and investing into growth and economic recovery for tomorrow.
It has a common goal with Taiwan in the biotechnology agenda in the pursuit to sustainability, food security, health and wellness of the citizens.
Welcome you to the Taiwan Healthcare Expo.
Welcome to the Healthcare Expo.
Hi everyone, I'm Hernan Cuevas-Brun. I'm the Marketing Manager of HCMed Innovations. I have over 6 years of experience in drug delivery and specialize in inhalation therapy for the past 3 years. I'm working in HCMed Innovations, that is a startup company with lots of potential to collaborate with pharmaceutical companies around the world. A company that focuses on the design, development, and manufacture of mesh technology. So today I'd like to guide you through the process of inhalation therapy, just to have some background information, then explain what they are the advantages of mesh technology, and lead to the drug combination product development. So without any further overview, let's start with inhalation therapy. Inhalation therapy can be described as the process of delivering a drug directly into the lungs. Now, why is this important? Well, simply by doing this, it's easier to treat respiratory diseases by locally delivering the drug into the specific parts of the airways. So when the patient inhales, the drug goes into the lungs, and that reduces the dose as well as it helps with reducing systemic side effects. There are 3 main devices in inhalation therapy: dry powder inhalers, metered dose inhalers, and nebulizers. While the first 2 are easier to use in the sense that they take a short period of time, they also come with disadvantages as they require coordination when using the device, or they require a very high peak inspiratory flow. Nebulizers do not have these disadvantages. And that is why I want to focus on this part during the presentation today. Now, if we go into nebulizers, nebulizers have been around for over 2 centuries. The first nebulizers, called jet nebulizers, use air pressure to transform liquid medication into aerosol that could be inhaled into the lungs. This was very successful in the sense to delivering small molecules, but at the same time, these devices have very large amounts of residues. So then the ultrasonic nebulizers came along with smaller sizes and less noise performance, but they generated heat. So this is how we get finally to mesh technology. Mesh technology is able to offer portability and other features that previous nebulizers did not have. So before continuing with mesh nebulizers, I think I should spend a little time explaining the aerosol characterization. Not all aerosol that is breathed in will actually have therapeutic effects. In order to have the drugs successfully delivered into the different parts of the airways, they have to be in a specific range of diameters. And this is usually described as the respirable range between 1 to 5 micron in diameter. What happens when we inhale aerosol? The aerosol first goes through the nose or the mouth, down the upper tract of the respiratory airways, and then reaching the bronchioles and the alveoli. So what we want to make sure is that these particles really target the specific sections that will help reach the therapeutic effect. Now back again to mesh nebulizers. So here we have this technology that started approximately 30 years ago. It consisted of a different approach to create aerosol. In this case, the liquid medication is in direct contact with a mesh membrane. And we can think of a mesh as a filter with between 1,000 and 3,000 small holes or pores through which the liquid medication goes through, becoming aerosol that can be inhaled. We use this using an ultrasonic vibration that oscillates the mesh and generates the aerosol. There are 2 kinds of mesh nebulizers, and this is based on where the piezoelectric component is placed. So we have the passive nebulizers, where the piezoelectric component is not attached to the mesh, and the active mesh nebulizer, where this piezoelectric component is also placed very close to the mesh membrane on a plate that creates the oscillation with the mesh. So now, why we need these mesh nebulizers, and what is the perception from doctors and clinicians? Well, in the past few years, mesh technology has really gotten the attention of doctors and physicians, and that's why even pharmaceutical companies these days prefer to use mesh technology in clinical trials, either for combination products or other purposes. Why do they choose this? Well, they choose it first of all because of their portability. It's easier to use than at home. They have shorter nebulization time than other devices. They are also very silent, and they have higher levels of delivered dose. So less of the active pharmaceutical ingredient is needed to reach the therapeutic effect. As technology keeps improving, as things keep going on with mesh technology, we can start talking about new features. And that's what led us to smart breast actuated technology. So first of all, we can focus on breast actuation. Breast actuation refers to the process of generating aerosol during inhalation only. Why is this important? Well, there are 3 major purposes. First of all, we can reduce the waste that is generated during the exhalation phase. We can enhance the delivered dose that goes into the lungs. And we can also help and assist patients to adhere to their treatment throughout the process of the nebulization. If we think of why and how we do this breath-actuated function, we can start thinking of a mechanism that is widely used by most devices, and this is having a pressure sensor. So what happens is that when a patient inhales, there will be a pressure change in one of the channels of the device. Now, this immediately triggers the sensor and starts generating aerosol. There's a threshold out of which when the patient is getting close to the last part of inhalation, the device will immediately stop and the exhalation process begins. Now, no aerosol is coming out because in this specific point, we have a higher pressure that eventually leads to wait for the respiratory cycle to finish and initiate the next one to start generating aerosol again. Fugitive aerosols in recent years, and more specifically since the COVID-19 pandemic started, have really attracted lots of discussion in the medical field. Why? Because fugitive aerosols are not only the aerosols that are generated during exhalation, but they are also the aerosols that are coming out or exhale from the respiratory airways if they did not properly deposit in the lungs or the different parts of the respiratory system. So this is potentially detrimental to the health of people who are surrounding those receiving their nebulization treatment. And that's why breath actuation can reduce these negative effects of fugitive aerosols. Now, the other special feature is Bluetooth connectivity. We are living in a digital world, and this really brings lots of benefits to patients. What does this mean? In inhalation therapy, we are trying to assist and improve adherence by providing new solutions that mostly come together with Bluetooth connectivity. We can put these as add-ons on devices, or the Bluetooth modules can be directly embedded into the devices. Now, by doing this, we can see when the patients are doing their treatment, we can see if they are doing effectively, and we can also check on other educational material that we can provide with these devices. So when we improve patient adherence, we are trying to guide the patient to adhere to its specific times of treatment to improve the treatment efficiency, and also educate them to have their material ready, all their information ready to be shared with doctors or healthcare practitioners. The idea is that at some point we'll be able to share data in real time to really help with the progress of different kinds of patients that suffer respiratory diseases such as asthma or COPD. So now with mesh technology and the features that we are involving, we come to the point that leads more to the regulatory side. And this is the drug-device combination. In drug-device combination, we are talking about having a nebulizer and a drug. And this drug can be specifically tailored for a customized device to enhance drug delivery and have optimal performance. So this specifically requires pharmaceutical companies as well as device manufacturers to work together and find the best way to deliver solutions that will benefit lots of people who suffer common diseases as well as more recent rare diseases that are affecting people, especially in the respiratory field. So as the prospects of mesh technology, combination products, and the future of how we will incorporate all of this, we can first highlight that mesh technology offers a deeper and better lung deposition than other nebulizers. They are highlighted by their portability, their silent operation, and at the same time, they can come together with these two new features mentioned, the breath actuation and connectivity. By having the Internet of Things connected and bringing us more value, especially to these devices, we can further see that asthma and COPD treatment can also be treated more efficiently, as well as new biologic treatments that will require the delivery of proteins, peptides, and other substances such as mRNA. Inhalation therapy is a very exciting field that allows us to work with pharmaceutical companies around the world, that allows us to offer new solutions with therapeutic effects to people who suffer from respiratory diseases around the world. So this is the end of the presentation. Thank you very much and hope you enjoyed it. Hi everyone, I'm Hernan Cuevas, Marketing Manager of HCMed Innovations, and today I have the pleasure to be joined by two very distinguished professionals. First of all, we have the CEO of iSensor, Carson, and we also have the CEO of Flat Medical, Joseph, yes. So there are two questions that we want to treat in this panel discussion, and I think we can go right into the first one. Mm-hmm. So it relates to what are the most critical changes that could be applied to the companies and the healthcare field to have a more efficient future in its development of medical devices or the new solutions for the medical field. Mm-hmm. So if it's okay, we can start with Carson.
Sure. So I myself was in the field of telemedicine almost 20 years ago. At that time, I built a PDF-based system for testing SpO2 and the ECG. However, at that time, we think there are a lot of missing components for telemedicine to actually materialize, like regulatory, like the availability of data connectivity, mobile device, and reimbursement. So until last year, we are seeing a significant change because of COVID-19. So we are seeing mRNA vaccine. This technology hasn't been widely used before this pandemic. But because of the pushing needs, the regulatory agency are willing to have a quick approval process, giving the flexibility. So that's what led us where we are today. So now we have innovative vaccines that can help us fight against the pandemic. Going forward, I foresee a regulatory agency remains a critical part for innovation, because in the past, this kind of innovation is typically challenged by regulatory agencies. But now, because of this pandemic, they have been more flexible, been highly efficient to try or approve new drugs, new vaccine, and new devices. And we are seeing, as we move toward to future of health, this will be a critical part for us to transit to a more innovative healthcare to face the future of health.
Great, thank you so much. What about you, Joseph?
I think this is an interesting question for me because I come from Flat Medical, which is a startup company. So we are changing, adjusting, modification, and growing every day. So we often ask ourselves, what shouldn't be changed rather than what should be changed? Yeah. However, because of the pandemic of COVID-19, we have seen a lot of change. And one of the most important things that I think the pandemic has already changed the way people interaction. So we have to learn how to survive in the new rule of the people interaction. So for example, for us, because currently it is difficult to enter a hospital to promote your product, and it is hard to discuss your prototype with physicians. So, and we also seen a lot of online, the virtual conference. So we made 2 improvements. The first is that we have modified our regulatory process. So now we can direct or via the distributor to deliver a very small package to the hospital. And we made our new Phantom, so they can use it, a portable small one, in their daily training. And it is really popular. So with this, our distributor can still promote our product even in a pandemic. And another thing, just for example, that we started to make our own homemade 3D demo video. And since the start of the pandemic, we have already built the complete ability to make an elegant demo video. And this is essential for us, because part of Flat Medical is just like a design house. We always have to evaluate a new unmet need and show the physicians our new concept of solution. So currently, we only need 7 days after we have a new idea, and we can use the demo video, efficient discussion with the physician or even with the FDA authorization. And that are only 2 examples. But what I would like to say is that if asked me what should be changed, I think we have to change to follow the new rule of the way people interaction.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I think definitely the COVID-19 pandemic has changed the way in which we do things. It has pushed digitalization. Mm-hmm. It has pushed reforms and also the regulatory process to try to make it more flexible. Mm-hmm. And those are good things moving forward for efficiency, at least in the medical field and healthcare. So now going into our second question, I think this goes more to each one of your companies, since it relates to an experience that you wish that you could, at that time, if you wish you could have done things differently to get probably a better outcome and make a better progress for your company. So if it's okay, we start again with Carson.
Sure. So I think not only for startup, but also for mature companies, one of the most critical things is that whether you are building the right solution for pushing needs. And for this one, we first start because we are developing an innovative solution. So in the very beginning, where we try to make some assumption and to test with stakeholders. And it's a lengthy process, but I think it's also a vital step for that. So over this period, we gradually build the product and bring to market and get feedback and to revise it. It takes us some time until I think 2 years ago, we identified a new way to help us to identify our needs and get feedback quickly to optimize the solution as well. So in the past 2 years, we were privileged to be able to attend accelerator by big pharmas like Merck, Johnson & Johnson, and also have the pleasure to work with Roche during a startup career. And take Merck accelerator, for example, for those 3 months, we were able to reside within Merck and talk to different people from different departments to understand what they need. For example, if they have a certain drug, they might need a testing solution, help them to screen their potential customer, or something that people can use at home, so to monitor their situation. So this allows us to focus more accurately how we should allocate our resources, and also in the early time of developing a product, we can get validation from doctors and the potential customers. I think this kind of new practice helps a lot to make the overall product development more efficient, and we are also more certain about once we finish this product, how can we successfully commercialize it.
Thank you again, Carson. Joseph?
In fact, it is a tough question for me because, startup always makes mistake, but we always do adjustment. However, the first thing that came into my mind is that we have a struggle on the quality system, on the establish of the quality system. Back to 2017 to 2018, we were applying for the ISO 13485, and as a rookie, we cooperating with the third-party consultant, and we use their template as our regulation, and it became a disaster on our first audit. The auditor who came from British Standard Institution, he was shocked. He found our regulation is different from our product plan. In that moment, we haven't have any product, but we have our plan, and he found that is absolutely different. So we make a very big mistake that we only made minor modification on their template. But what should we do is to find the first-hand information by ourselves and read the information and read the template and have our own regulation. So after that, it cost us about 1 year to modify our original regulation, because it's even difficult to modify an existing regulation than make a new one. So it cost us so many time. So if ask me what is the if one thing that I hope to do it again and I can do it better, I think that is our experience.
Okay, yeah, definitely this is something that happens with startups, and just like Carson said, it can also happen with big corporations that sometimes we get into some small issues and then we have to resolve them, and hopefully these help us do things better the next time.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for this very interesting discussion that we just had, and I appreciate your time and also having the opportunity to know more about both of your companies.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
串联医疗、生技、资通讯领域，从治疗延伸到预防、保健的健康产业链。台湾医疗科技展的举办，就是最好的超前部署。
看到了很多同行开始跟我一样，把这些大数据跟 AI 科技用在这慢性病照护上面，
把 AI 的放射治疗落地到台湾去做一个应用。质子设备在免疫细胞治疗上面其实是有很大的一个未来性的突破。
急性心肌梗塞用 AI 去判断，科技公司非常有兴趣。
其实蛮多医疗院所会主动来跟我们询问整个的一个状况，希望能够推院内、医院内的整个5G 专网。
希望有更多这些资讯相关的 IoT 的 device，那能够引入到医院的场地去应用。
从加护病房到智慧病房到睡眠中心，他们发现这样子一个照顾是相当完整的。
跟全台各大医院、国外的一些医学大学合作，让实际的使用者知道说，我们提供的是100% MIT
这些最高阶的 solution， 在医疗院所里面，刚好可以解决他们很多的痛点。很多世界最一线的厂商都来找我们，在积极的要合作。
透过异业的合作，然后让我们的医疗更落实到第一线。
My name is Ted Huang. I'm Patient-Centric Innovation Manager at AstraZeneca Taiwan. I'm going to share with you how to build a partnership with multinational companies through stakeholder analysis and through understanding their real needs. So I know most of the startups or SMEs in Taiwan are looking to build collaboration with big companies such as Johnson & Johnson, Medtronic, Pfizer, or AstraZeneca. But most of them put 100% efforts on finding the clinical unmet needs. I'm here to give you a different perspective to urge that not only to focus on clinical unmet needs, but also unmet needs of your target clients. And I will explain you why about that. So for today's content, we have 2 points. The first one is multinational companies' external innovation considerations. From this angle, you may be able to understand more from multinational companies' perspective and also why they are scouting or why they are looking for different solutions externally. And second, I'm going to give you a tool, which is dynamic stakeholder analysis, which is a very useful technique to help you to understand what kind of the ecosystem or the environment you are in and how you can play with the ecosystem and to leverage to build the partnership with these companies. So when it comes to multinational companies' external innovation considerations, I think most of the important things, they are thinking how to boost sustainable growth or how to build competitive advantages, which is extremely important for their business. So again, this is not only about to make the revenue or how to beat the competitor for these multinational companies, but more about to build a sustainable growth. And this concept is quite important, is that it allows us to dissect what does it mean for sustainable growth. We can dissect this into 3 pillars. The first one is organic growth. The second one would be gain share or gain market share. And the third one would be new product development or new business development. As for organic growth, we can also dissect this into a few points. The first one would be take surgical business as an example. For Medtronic or Johnson & Johnson or Ethicon, this business unit, they will see organic growth from different perspectives. The first one would be like what kind of new surgical methods or what kind of techniques, what kind of skills they can urge or they can promote through support from the key opinion leaders or surgeons. And is this possible for them to increase or expand their indication for their medical devices, which can generate a bigger market for them? So in this way, they will think how we can really make the pie, the market pie, even bigger. Not only to share a bit about it, but more about how we can make the pie bigger. So this way they can increase their organic growth. And second approach they will think about is by product. So they will think what kind of product, what kind of portfolio for current or for the future, and what kind of product we can play with within this current market. And again, this is about how the ways to increase the CAGRs of this overall market size. For the gain share part, it's more about the traditional understanding about the marketing. So it's about not only about the marketing communication, but for example, like market access. They will think how they can make the price even better and better in the next few years under the huge pressure of the local health, Ministry of Health surveillance or regulations or reimbursement system. They will think in terms of the portfolio, product portfolio, how we can really maintain a certain degree of competitiveness and also increase the market access to the region, to the hospital, and even to the key opinion leader or the end user. So this is their way of thinking. And the second part would be like a key opinion leader or key account or hospital's engagement. How we can leverage external partnership to have a better engagement with those key stakeholder within the environment. This is crucial sometimes for them because it will benefit back to their market access part. And the third part would be distributorship integration. So like online and offline, or different regions or different types of distributor, how we can increase the synergy through integrate the resources and integrate their advantages within this region, within this market. The third pillar would be new product development or new business development. For multinational companies, they will think their product, not only single products, but more about the whole portfolio management, the current portfolio management and the future portfolio management, which will give them a dynamic perspective about how they can forecast or foresee the future about the market. So they will see how is the future start, and in terms of how we can create a new way of surgical methods, or how we can change the frequency of using this kind of medical devices or this solution, and so that through this process we can alter the whole portfolio line. And this is different perspective from most of the startups' point of view. And the third point, I think is also quite interesting. It's called strategic sacrifice hits. So for these companies, they will see product portfolio as a whole total solution, offering to the stakeholders or to the end users. Again, take surgical business as an example. Like Troca is a device which can be used to help surgeons to access into the patient's body. For this kind of product, actually for Johnson & Johnson or Medtronic, these big giants companies, they will see this product just like a sacrifice hit sometimes in some markets, because for the government reimbursement rate is quite low, and sometimes they cannot make any profit about it. But if the startups, they only put 100% of their efforts trying to find the best way or trying to find the unmet needs about this Troca, which may give a not really profitable or market sizable result. So sometimes for this kind of product, if startups can alter their thinking, alter their mindset to change this product into how we can design a product to fit the multinational company's total solution fit, could be another way to think about it. And the fourth point about the new product development is companion solution. For example, some new drug or innovative drugs, before using that, patients need to be to have a genetic testing or genetic consultation. For this kind of solution, pharmaceutical companies will be extremely interested to have this kind of partnership with this companion solution or genetic companies to co-build this solution, because this is a companion solution. It's like a precondition before using their drugs. So from these 10 different considerations, startups can find the different approaches or find different value proposition about their products. In all, there are a few points to think. The first one is, for multinational companies, they would like to expand the overall market size, not only to competing within the similar or the current status of the market. And the second point, sometimes they need public relations. They need to do some corporate social responsibility, which also indirectly give them a leverage point on market access, on KOL or KA engagement. And third one would be supply chain synergy. They can increase either operation efficiency or increase their cost effectiveness. And the fourth, lastly, would be competitive advantage. Through these approaches, they can build, or through this partnership, they can build the competitive advantages. So understanding what is the considerations about the multinational companies, and then we also need to understand what kind of options that multinational companies have. They either can do nothing, they can early introduce their new pipelines through their own facility or their own manufacturing site, or they can license in or license out, or even JV or merge and acquisition. But I think also most important thing for the startup or for SMEs is to really understand what is your value proposition about your solution from different point of view. I think innovation means 3 guards. In the outer layer is market access, which means reimbursement, pricing, regulatory affairs. If your products can bring in this kind of value to the multinational companies, it will lay in market access guard. And the second layer I think is extremely important for startup is the commercial innovation. And I think most of the startup need to also focus not only on clinical unmet needs, but also on commercial innovation, because you will bring in different viewpoints when you design your product, and even in the POC stage. So for commercial innovation, there are some like market coverage in terms of number of hospital, number of user, or number of stakeholders, or the distributorship, digitalization, operation synergy, or strategic alliance or partnership. In the middle, it will then be product innovation, or we call it unmet needs. So what I'm going to say is that most of the companies or startups, they put so many times and effort and resources on finding the unmet needs. But remember that multinational companies, they also put the same energy on finding maybe the same kind of the same direction of unmet needs. So maybe you can think about what kind of gap that multinational companies cannot do that maybe you can bring in. So leverage point usually lies in not only the product innovation, but also commercial innovation. Okay, so for dynamic stakeholder analysis, I think this is a very useful tool to help you guys to understand or to discover the business opportunities. Let's take an AI-related AI ECG startup as an example. So you may use different kind of tools or metrics. Here I use, you can see on the left-hand side, you can put use case and also the patient journey in different X and Y axis to see what kind of business or what kind of stakeholders are within this whole market ecosystem. In this slide, you can see Omron, they focus on retail business and focus on diagnosis business. And there are some other multinational companies like GE, they also occupy different side of this metrics. And then with this whole picture, usually we can see, have a clear map saying that what kind of players, what kind of competitors we are facing, or what kind of partners we can build the business. But I think the most important thing is the angle you can see. I think to focus on what kind of dynamic that these companies are focusing on is also very important. Because, for example, you can see for Omron, in the next 3 years or 5 years, which market or which use case or which patient journey they would like to move to, or they would like to expand to, will bring in more value about this startup's business. So they can structure where they should play with. And after have this clear mapping in a more dynamic way, we can then define the priority of the target clients. Who are the key payers that we have more opportunities to win, right? And then you can also think, what is their target or strategic focus in the next few years from the point of view of government affairs, market access, or what kind of resources they would like to acquire. And then for startup or for SMEs, you may think what kind of business development strategy we can leverage. For example, sometimes this flow of thinking will help you generate a totally different idea from the first beginning. Right? So And maybe some of these solutions may be totally different from what you can imagine in the past. For example, we may come up with a solution saying we should leverage the AI technology to the home care device giant with a limitation within the certain market. So this is like a limited license in or license out strategy in this market. And we can also segment the market in different ways. So lastly, I would like to give some reminder for doing the business development or doing the startup business with multinational companies. We should define needs through understanding what multinational companies they are focusing on, what is their business challenges, hurdles, and where is the opportunity you can leverage with. And the second point would be knock the door with relevant value proposition, rather than only stressing on your own technology or your skills or your product, but more think from your counterpart's viewpoint. And lastly, find a key person with support of the right partner. Sometimes the key person is not necessary to be the big boss of the potential client, but from a really supportive people and willing to who is willing to share their insights and to really precisely brief what they need to you. And I think this is the right partner that you should focus on. And thank you so much. This is my talk.
Hi, I'm Derek. I'm the User Experience Director from Jubo, and I'm responsible for the product design of long-term care solution. And I'm here today to share our Jubo Telecare platform and its design. So we try to connect the data and the services to apply the use case in the home care situations. So we all know the world is aging. In Taiwan, in 2020, for everyone senior, it takes for young people to support their living. And in the next 2 decades, there will not be enough care workers to provide services. And it's not just happening in Taiwan, but also in other developed or developing countries. Jubo recognized the situation and is dedicated to developing digital tools that can help increase care professionals' care efficiency and capacity. So in the past 2 years, we have built the nursing information system and the daycare management system to help reduce nurses and social workers' workload. But we are also aware that there are still some 800,000 seniors who are right now being taken care of at home, either by the family members or by caregivers dispatched from home care agencies. However, the care quality can sometimes be very problematic, and it doesn't really help much to relieve the seniors' care stress in the long term. So based on user-centered approach, we start by asking what happened to the family caregivers and what pain points they are suffering right now. So in the past year, we have interviewed more than 10 families and brought back the observation we collected on site and discussed with our technology team and business team to brainstorm the best solutions. From the research, we can target our primary user more precisely and then mapping out their journey so that we can better understand what they do, what they think, and how they feel. So as you can see in the customer journey map, in Taiwan, the primary care decision maker is often the partner of the disabled, and their age is around 50 to 70 years old, who's also undertaking part of the care work, if not at all. The journey starts from the disabled being discharged from the hospital, and the family member has to search the care services to consult and to compare the possible solutions. So if we further zoom in on the map, we can identify each of the major pain points during these stages. From searching to consulting care services, it takes a lot of time and efforts for the family caregivers to process the information, and it's often a back and forth process before the final decision is made. However, after adopting the service, there's another issue, is how to monitor the care quality at home. So for families with higher expectation of care delivery, it's now often less than satisfactory using the government funding services. So the senior is at best maintaining their current health conditions, but with less hope to recover part of their daily activity functions. Therefore, we identified two opportunities in Jubal Telecare solution. One is to help family find the services that match their expectation, and the other is to provide caregivers with digital tools to track care quality at home, so that they can better collaborate with the care professionals remotely. So by creating a transparent and trustworthy platform, we aim to bridge the care service gap in demand and provision, as well as the quality control after the service is adopted, so that it will help the family to find the right care professional teams at the right time, and also provide them with the tools that can collaborate with the care professionals more easily, so that the timely intervention for the senior can be finally made. Jubal Telecare platform helps the family decision maker select the most suitable care professional team. So by providing essential information such as care needs, current health conditions, expectation, and also budgets, Jubal platform will then filter the talent pools and recommend the care service package to the families, and also provide for the digital tools to ensure home care quality. And after the service is adopted at home, we also provide the digital tools to help the caregivers ensure care quality. So it includes the smart care node, including the vital sign measurement automation and daily care checklist. And all the data will be synced to the cloud and sent remotely to the care professionals so they can monitor through their dashboard. So the care professionals can receive the timely care risk alerts, and also from the data collected at home, they can try to compare the wounds differences of the medication the senior is taking right now, as well as their differences in the vital sign measurement. So through the integrated care plan, they can deliver a better care services to the families. So as for the family care decision maker, we also help them to monitor the care quality by providing them with the care quality reports and also the progress tracking. So how we provide the stakeholders, including the families, the caregivers, and the care professional, is by letting them to share and exchange the information remotely so that the care delivery can be more smoothly be done. Jubal Telecare platform bridges the information gap and help the collaboration between the families and the care professionals.
努力共同创造台湾普具暨长照产业的新纪元，
进一步的协助国内的业者在创新研发产出更多、更好、更新的产品。
Hello, I'm Jen from Jubal, part of the Global Business Development team. I aim to bring Jubal's product and solutions to worldwide and to serve those in need. I love travel, I love yoga, and I love cats. Today, I'm going to share about Jubal's AI practices in care. AI truly makes us reimagine how we can better integrate telehealth in virtual care setting. We are currently seeing a trend that a new digital infrastructure to be introduced to care. The new infrastructure help streamline the process of data collection and analysis, making the calculation and the machine training models operate more efficiently. The outcomes are crucial to every decision making in the care process. Under this new infrastructure, we are able to make huge impact with AI. It helps enhance person-centered care and quality care. The individual's difference in health condition and potential risk can be easier to identify, and follow-up works to provided by care professionals can be executed in much easier way. AI also help build good communication and trust in collaborative care, not only in between the care professionals, but also for the communications between care professionals and the families. More importantly, AI can help predict the future delivery of care. Now, I will give more details on each aspect. So, as we talk about the new infrastructure of AI, data is definitely the foundation. Care is complex and involved with many data. Therefore, we need a data hub that enables automated data collection and data management. In a home care setting, the activity sensors installed at home can keep track of the changes in residents' activities, such as sleep quality, fall detection, and vital checking. We have records, logs, and signals from those devices. Whenever a caregiver enters the house, the vital sign measurements is conducted via the medical devices, and several data types need to be collected. For instance, the blood pressure, the body temperature, the blood oxygen, and blood glucose. With so many data involved, Jubal creates an all-in-one data hub, Smart Care Note, not only retrieving data across different devices and sensors automatically, but integrate the nursing records of the resident. AI helps shape person-centered and quality care. By identifying individual difference and abnormalities in more real-time manner, the care professionals can save more time and focus on the right care service delivery. For instance, one of the Jubal AI applications, vital sign abnormality monitoring. In general, vital signs should be measured at least twice a day. However, just because of the sensitivity and the familiarity to the resident is needed, the caregivers actually sees it as a very challenging task. With Jubal AI, the personalized vital sign abnormality is calculated and turns into a standard range. And it can be established right away. Under the mix of data sets such as current vital sign records, personal profiles such as gender, age, tube usage, medication, and previous vital sign records. And after the calculation, the abnormality alerts will be triggered in real time when the standards is exceeded. Then the care professionals can provide timely intervention, set reminders to recheck, and set up follow-up tests to ensure the care quality. Also, AI enhances trust and communications in collaborative care. With leading index and information transparency, care professionals and families can communicate better. There's another example from Jubal is the AI model of bed sore image detection and analysis for wound recovery scenario. In general, wound care has very huge impact on the senior's quality of life. While wound recognition and recovery record is also very time-consuming for the care professionals. Families and care professionals, they take a lot of time to understand the status of the wound, and also there is a very complicated record to actually know the recovery status of the wound. But with Jubal AI, Families and care professionals can easily just use mobile devices to take wounds photos and learn the recovery status. All the detection and recognition are detected by AI. Then, the information details such as severity, color, shape, and size can be easily transmitted and communicated well. Last but not least, AI predicts the demands and delivery of care. It helps streamline the process from assessment, diagnosis, to service matching. The best example is Jubol's AI implementation for the complicated procedure of personal health risk assessment. There are tons of data types to consider in order to generate a risk assessment of a specific person. By implementing Jubol AI feature, home care agency and case family can easily insert data such as body assessment, current disease status, tube usage, and living environment attributes. Then, the data will be sent to Jubol AI Cloud for calculation and then generate a risk report indicating potential risk with its incidence rate. Then, with the report in hand, the home care agency can further evaluate and tailor the right service for its customers. All in all, the AI applications are beneficial to the facilitation of virtual care. In Jubol's solution roadmap, from smart care node to monitoring and assessment type of AI practices, to the ultimate goal of providing on-demand care recommendation and delivery. These overall workflow can definitely drive the virtual care onto the next level. Let's reimagine telecare with AI. Everyone ages, everyone needs care. Think about it not only for your family, but also for yourself.
Hello, everyone. We're very happy to invite two of the very young and talented experts at Jubol today to share with us their startup experience. So welcome. Would you introduce yourself a bit and also introduce the company about Jubol? Maybe Derek first.
Hi, I'm Derek, and I'm the user designer in Jubol. And I'm primarily responsible for the product design of the long-term care system and daycare systems. And Jubol is on its way to expand their product ecosystem to home care services. So right now we are also striving to build a telecare platform that help the family caregivers. They can have a much better services.
Thank you. Jen.
Hi, I'm Jen from the Global Business Development team of Jubol. So I currently working closely with the North America business team in helping the product of Jubol to be able to serve more people around the world. And very excited to be in a strategic partnership with all over the world. For example, those in Japan and Singapore and many more to come in Middle East. So very excited to bring the Jubol's next gen product to the next stage.
Awesome. And congrats on the great job. And I read recent news about the close the funding, and also congrats on the new business development overseas. So I would like to ask Jen about what do you foresee Jubol 3 years later? What is your vision about the Jubol company, and what is the future goal?
As I see, Jubol is a very interesting company with its very profound vision to serve in long-term care industry. As everyone may know, Taiwan is one of the fastest growing aging society in Asia. So currently what we are developing is actually 2 steps or 3 steps forward than others. So with our pilot experimental research in Taiwan, we can see it as an advantage to take our product to the next level. And we're able to serve many more countries and with a more solid business strategy and more solid product structure. So very excited, and within 3 years, we are foreseeing ourselves to be more mature in Southeast Asia, in Eastern Asia like Japan. And of course, the current relationship we have in North America can also help us to get more understanding of the regulatory compliance, such as piracy and security issues, and also the maturity in the business cycles. So I think these are the challenges for us in the 3 years, and we are very excited to confront and to face.
Nice. How about from perspective of product development or user experience? Do you have anything to share, Derek?
I think in our long-term vision, we are trying to break the information silo that's right now existing in like different information system has to talk to each other, but there's no way for them to do this better. So we try to base our product on a resident or senior based design so that the information they can bring with them to wherever they go, either they chose to stay in the care facility or stay at home. So the data is always with them so that we can provide them with a better feedback of how the data tell them about their health conditions and to help the professionals to make a better care decision and to intervene more timely.
Gotcha. Yeah. Got you. And also, in order to reach the 3 years goal that Jen also just shared, I'm just curious that what kind of changes or what kind of business activities that Jubel need to do internally or maybe externally. Maybe Jen, you can share first.
Well, that's a very interesting question. I think for the changes we have to make, firstly, and most importantly, is our connection to the global stage. So as a company currently headquartered in Taiwan, with many networks outside of Taiwan, we need to be aware of not locking ourselves in our own boxes, but to explore and to keep open to any kind of new stimulation. Yeah. And also the talents will be a very important factor to us for our further global expansion. So how the company based in Taiwan to acquire or attract more talent from a global stage, it's also something we have to work on very hardly.
Derek?
And the challenges we are facing right now in the society in general is like we are in shortage of care force. So there's not enough caregivers to provide the services. And also many people don't think it's like noble professionals, so that not many people, they devoted themselves to this kind of career. So we try to, the challenges we are facing right now, besides to letting people know like care, you have to take care of 不好意思，我刚刚重新想一下。可以剪吗？你可以继续，可以继续。OK。刚讲了。The challenge is how we reshape the working environment for the caregivers, because right now they don't think maybe the job is noble enough. So we try to develop digital tools to help them and empower them so they can deliver more service to more people, so that people will respect it as a career.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think the answer is quite interesting. I mean, for Derek, you mean that for market education is quite important for you to educate not the user, but let the whole environment understand this career of your clients means really something. That's so in the future, maybe in this market can be more, can grow healthier in the future. So for Jen, I also really appreciate your answer regarding the talent acquisition for Taiwanese companies. Always a big challenge is how you would like to expand your business internationally, but also you need to have more insights from not only from Taiwan but from other countries, and to acquire local insights, acquire local talents is one of the most important thing, and I totally agree with that. So my next question would be, if you can change something in the past. I mean, for startup, we have facing so many different difficulties and challenges every day, and dealing with complexity is another thing, right? So if you can really fly back to the past and change something, what would that be, Jen?
Well, we think it's actually a very blunt answer, but I would say if we fly back again, we probably will follow the same route, just because you never know what happened next. And what we can do is always gather all the resources you can have, and just to make it happen. So even for now, looking back on what we've done, it's quite challenging journeys, but the method we tried will still be there, and we'll just need to make more efforts to tackle all the challenges in front of us. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, definitely. And Derek?
And I totally agree with Jen about it's not like what we could have done differently, but what we could have done more. So as a user experience designer, we always facing the failure because we get a lot of criticism either from inside of the company or from the user. But we know it's like a better approach for us to find the real truth, like what really works. So not until we have done more, we could not really find the answers. So we think if we go back to 3 years ago, we should have done more experiments and tried to probe the market, to know more about the users and know more about the markets.
Thank you. And I also would like to ask more further questions, like what keeps you awake at night? What is the burning challenges currently? Maybe Derek first.
It's like you are always self-doubting whether the things you are doing, the user will really appreciate or the market will appreciate, because we try to do something really useful, and it's not just something we imagine in our brain, but we have to prove it from the user's perspective. So that's what keeps me awake at the night. Yeah, thinking about these questions, which I may not have answers immediately.
Yeah, and not only thing, you need to do something, right?
Yeah.
So many different initiatives, so much different experiments. Yeah, cool. And Jen?
Yeah, I think self-doubt is very common on the entrepreneurial journey. So I dare not to say I always have good sleep, but I think the most important thing is how to better strengthen your confidence in yourself. Even things may fail, you need to find a way to put yourself together again, so that you are a warrior again tomorrow. So I think what keeps me awake at night.
Not your boss, right?
Not my boss, for sure.
Just call every day.
But I think I will ask myself if I have already put at full force for myself every day. Yeah. If yes, then I'm satisfied.
Cool. I think your boss is quite lucky to have you work with them. So I guess my last question would be, if you can give one word about Jubo's company culture, what would that be? Jane?
In one word,
yeah.
I would choose persistence. So this word, I think, can definitely symbolize not only the industry that Jubo is in currently, which is long-term care, a very difficult issue to tackle, but also it symbolized the very entrepreneurial journey that we have to keep the strong mindset to get together.
Okay. Derek?
And I would say it's in one word, right?
Or maybe three, so okay.
It would be ambitious. So we are trying to do something different than before. And on our way, the journey, we may face a lot of fight back. Like people don't know what we are really doing right now. They may have doubts, but we are still trying to find our way to go through all these obstacles and to prove ourselves we are trying to transforming the way we are working and living now. And especially in the long-term care scenarios, people may need a new way to solve the old problems. We always know there's a shortage of care force, but it's not like when we include more care force can solve the problems, but we have to try to think of some other different ways to tackle it.
Thank you. Resilience and also ambitious, that's what I can see from your interview. And thank you so much for your time today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.